Welcome to A Journey with Food, Body, and Life podcast, a show for self led women who are ready to step into their own transformation with food and body. I am Haneen, a certified eating psychology coach and a mom of two. I believe it's time for a deeper approach to our nutritional health, one that not only helps us heal with food and body, but also heal with our life. Join me each week for guidance on your journey so that together we'll find your way back to fully loving yourself. If you are tired of the mainstream approaches and you want to go deeper to heal with the root causes of your challenges like emotional eating, binge eating, body image issues, and you're ready to live in peace and freedom, then this is the perfect show for you. Hey guys, and welcome back. This episode is going to clarify a lot of things when it comes to your decision making or food choices, especially if you are in a phase where you are working on ditching the diet, or maybe you are considering ditching the diet, or maybe you already ditched it and now you are learning how to take care of your nutritional health. In this episode, I am sharing with you and clarifying the difference between food rules and food guidelines. All right, let's dive in. First things first. When we work on ditching diet rules, we do not stop taking care of our nutritional health. There is a huge misconception floating around about the approach of building a healthy relationship with food and body, and this misconception says that drop the rules and just listen to your body and fulfill your cravings. If you want that chocolate, just eat it. People think that when they ditch the diet, they can eat whatever they want whenever they want. But nope, this is not the truth of our healing journey with food and body. There has to be more mindfulness into our eating experiences and food choices because this is just reality, because we are living in a world where for every action there is a reaction. With that being said, mindless and chaotic eating, just like anything else in life, has a consequence on our health and well-being. So here comes the concept of food guidelines. Yes, we want to ditch the diet rules and the diet culture, but we also want to develop healthy eating habits that stem from food guidelines. So, food rules and food guidelines are different approaches to guiding one's food choices. In this episode, I will be mentioning two main differences, and here's the first comparison between the two. Food rules are strict, rigid, and often arbitrary in nature. They are being used as laws that dictate what and how much one should eat. These rules are often based on external factors such as societal norms, fad diets, the diet industry, or even personal beliefs. Even if they stem from scientific knowledge or research, as they claim, this scientific information has been exploited by the diet culture or personal beliefs to create this perfectionist standpoint when it comes to food and weight loss. Diet culture in specific has been using these arbitrary rules to market for themselves and fill their pockets with loads of money and expand their influence and wealth. They don't really care about you or the general population and their health, just like they assume and tell us. So, on the other hand, food guidelines are flexible and evidence based recommendations not laws or rules, that provide general guidance on healthy eating patterns. These guidelines are often developed by health organizations and professionals based on scientific research. Food guidelines are based on the coordination between science and your internal experiences and factors, unlike rules that are based on external factors. And these guidelines promote a balanced approach to nutrition and emphasize the importance of variety and moderation. They offer flexibility in food choices and encourage individuals to listen to their body's needs. And here's the thing: in eating psychology, we use these guidelines to better understand our nutritional needs, where we use these guidelines as nutritional suggestions and not rules for better health and eating patterns. But it's always in coordination with each person's body and its unique needs. We seek to coordinate between the mind, aka the information we know about nutrition, aka nutritional guidelines, and then we coordinate that with the body, its desires, needs, and our gut. So, based on that difference, here is an example of a diet rule, and then I will show you the alternative in terms of food guidelines. So, one diet rule tells us to eliminate sugar. We have to eliminate sugar. Sugar is bad. We should not be eating it. We should not be consuming it. And here's what happens when you follow that diet rule: you might restrict sugar and go on a cleansed diet, for example, or maybe go for weeks without consuming sugar, and then you think, wow, you conquered the world, you're doing it. But all of a sudden, very strong urges start to happen in your body, and then you are consuming sugar in huge amounts. And then you'd feel guilty about doing this, and you'd feel shameful, and then you'd think there's something wrong with you because you weren't able to maintain this diet rule, and so on and so forth. Or maybe you're not eliminating sugar, but every time you are consuming sugar, you are feeling bad about it, you are feeling guilty, you are feeling shameful, and you think you're doing something wrong. Now, here's the alternative. A nutritional guideline on this topic says the following: sugar in large quantities may reflect negatively on the body. Just like any other food, you consume it in large quantities, or you consume it in quantities more than what the body needs. This can be with literally any type of food, whether you label it as good or bad. So, for example, you might label water as good. So, water is good. It is essential for our health, and we have to be consuming it every single day. But here's the thing: if you consume water more than what your body needs, let's say you are drinking, 5 to 10 liters of water a day, this can negatively affect your body. You'll suddenly feel the continuous urge to go to the toilet, and you won't feel okay in your gut. So this is just one example. Does this mean that water is bad? No. Simply, you drank too much water, and therefore it had a negative experience in your body. Water is neither good nor bad. Same thing with sugar. Sugar is neither good nor bad. Now, this is a whole new topic that I might be dedicating a whole episode on, explaining good food, bad food, and all these things. So, anyways, back to the guideline. Sugar in large quantities may reflect negatively on your body. So here is what we do. We use this guideline, plus we uncover if there are any eating challenges driving you to consume sugar in large quantities, like, for example, emotional eating, and then we heal with it. So instead of stopping yourself, going on a diet, eliminating sugar, we uncover the reasons of why you're consuming sugar in large quantities. Maybe it's habitual eating. Maybe it's mindless eating. Maybe you are having very severe dips in your energy levels during the day. That's why you are craving more sugar. Maybe you are emotionally eating, and so on. So when we uncover the root cause of why you're consuming sugar in large quantities, and then we heal with it instead of stopping yourself from consuming sugar, then naturally you will stop consuming sugar in large quantities because you use this nutritional guideline and then coordinated with your body and healed with the reasons behind you consuming too much sugar. Can you see the difference between the two? Regarding sugar, the diet rule and then the nutritional guideline. The diet rule has very negative impacts, not just on your nutritional health, but on your mental health as well. Now, moving on to the second difference, food rules can be restrictive and may lead to a negative relationship with food and feelings of guilt or shame and even disordered eating patterns. Now, there is a difference between disordered eating patterns and eating disorders. I will explain that later on in future episodes, but I want you to know that here I'm not talking about eating disorders. So, examples of food rules include strict calorie counting, eliminating entire food groups, like eliminating carbs because you believe it is bad and you should stop consuming it, or labeling foods as good or bad. So, for example, protein is good, sugar is bad, and so on. And eventually, this leads to the all or nothing mentality or the black and white mentality. So, with this mentality of food rules, when you fail to follow these rules, you will feel guilty for maybe eating more than the calorie counts you have in mind or you're following. You would feel shameful if you ordered that burger and you are operating from the food rule that burgers and fried foods are bad for you. Maybe you would feel like a loser if you are not consuming fruits and vegetables, just like the diet says. So that's the thing about food rules. They create a sense of you're either doing it right or you're doing it wrong. You succeeded or you failed. You either succeeded at consuming, let's say, 1,200 calories a day or you failed. And with that being said, your feelings toward yourself are very conditional based on how you did with food today. And here's how this is different with food guidelines. The advantage of food guidelines is that they allow for individual preferences and dietary needs, where they promote a more sustainable and simply enjoyable approach to eating rather than focusing on right or wrong with food. So, food guidelines also encourage mindfulness, self awareness, and listening to one's body cues. They also encourage a growth mindset and a trial and error approach to food and your eating experiences. So instead of thinking of yourself as a failure for not eating enough fruits and vegetables today, you are trying out different approaches and quantities to see what works best for your body. So even trial and error is one step closer to understanding your body in a better way and therefore to serve it in a better way. Okay, I will leave you with another food rule versus food guideline example. So, one food rule says, I should not eat past 7 p.m. This actually translates into, if I do eat after 7 p.m., I will gain weight, or I will not lose the weight that I want to lose. I'd rather sleep hungry than break this rule. Or maybe I might experience fear of food and fearing hunger at this time. Maybe also I might feel guilty and shameful if I ate. Now, on the other hand, a food guideline on the same topic says you can eat at any time you want. The key is how the food choice is making you feel at different times during the day. So, this translates into If eating after 7 p.m. makes you feel discomfort, for example, bloating or heartburn, maybe it disrupts your sleep pattern, or you might wake up feeling sluggish or with digestive discomfort, then some work needs to be done to figure out what's the best food choice or quantity to eat at night. Or maybe rearranging your eating schedule during the day to avoid eating big quantities at night. So, if your outcome that you want to reach is stop eating at night, this is the work we do to manage the whole situation instead of forcing ourselves to not eat past 7 p.m. And then, if we did, we feel bad about ourselves and hate our body. And then this keeps repeating again and again and again. So, in summary, food rules, as I said, are rigid and strict, while food guidelines offer flexibility and they are evidence based for better health and for better healthy eating choices. Following food guidelines promotes a balanced and individualized approach to nutrition, supporting overall well being and a positive relationship with food. And if you are in a place right now where you want to work on ditching the diet rules or moving from diet rules to learning about food guidelines and then coordinating with your body and all of these things, of course, you can book your one-to-one coaching with me. To reach out, you can go to my Instagram at hanin.eatingpsychology and just shoot me a DM. We will talk about this. You can inquire about one-on-one and we can start right away. All right, you guys, that's it for today. I wish you a blessed journey with your food and body. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.